Have you ever wanted to create something, but didn't? Well, I know that's rather vague, but that's exactly my point. Everyone has. Everyone has dreams, projects, hobbies, something that they have wanted to try, but haven't. Perhaps it's out of fear of rejection or perfectionism. See, for me, being a YouTuber is something I have thought about and dreamed of for over a decade now. It's something I have tried multiple times over the years. I've had at least 3 channels, but I have never had the consistency to accomplish it. But it was something I held on to nonetheless, sure that it was what I wanted to do. So, last month, December 2025, I decided I would follow Doug's advice and make a video every week. That I would truly commit myself to being a YouTuber, accomplish this dream I've had ever since I was little. I would follow a couple guide rules. I would produce one video every week, and each video I would try something new to improve. And along the way, I would use my skill mix of storytelling and. Wait, what's my other skill? See, I followed Doug's video and he talks about the skill mix, yada yada. So I spent weeks trying to figure out what my skill mix is and how I can then turn it into YouTube videos. How could I combine storytellings and systems? Is that really the best I could come up with? So much time I spent trying to figure out what exactly I could make. What was the perfect format for me? What would make the perfect channel? But a couple weeks went by and I reached the point where I had 3 days to fully make this video or I would have failed the very first week. I was panicking because it had to be perfect. I had to have the entire plan of what I was going to make week after week for 52 weeks. I had to have it all planned out. And I had tons of okay to good ideas, don't get me wrong, but none of them were perfect. How could I start if I didn't have the perfect first YouTube video? I sat there thinking, trying to figure out what in the world I was going to do that I was going to be satisfied with. More and more time passed, and I realized a lot has changed. This past decade has been genuinely insane, from COVID to graduating high school to the rise of AI to starting college. So many insane things have happened. I have lost so many friends, but in return, I have made so many amazing ones in their place. And so, as I sat there, staring at my whiteboard, I realized I didn't want to be a YouTuber anymore. I'm not that same little kid. But then, why does this video exist? Because it is incredibly hypocritical to talk about this huge revelation of not wanting to be a YouTuber and then still make this video. Like, the entire buildup of this video has been to the fact that I decided I did not want to be a YouTuber. But then, to still make this video, it's paradoxical. Have you heard of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey? Long story short, it's a self-improvement book taught at businesses to help people be more effective. I'm not one for self-improvement books and content. Most of the time, I think it doesn't really help, and they're always trying to sell something else, and I find that, just self-reflection and, truly sitting there with yourself for a while can accomplish the same thing. But this book was different. Don't get me wrong, in its current state, the Franklin Foundation definitely seems like they're just trying to sell you something. But the book was written ages ago. It's basically the same age as my parents. The core writing isn't trying to sell you anything. It's just a guy sharing what he's learned, sharing his wisdom, and hoping it'll help you. Of course, it then blew up and he made other books, yada yada, but that doesn't take away from the book. I had to read it through it for a college course, and I ended up skimming it to get by, to be honest. But it stuck in my mind. So as the class came to an end and it was no longer relevant, I picked it up, without hurry or rush, and gave it a true, honest go. There is a lot of good wisdom in this book, some that I'm personally about, to be honest, but in the context of this story in particular, there was one thing that stuck with me. Habit number 3, put first things first. It is not a crazy concept by any means, but it's the specifics about what he talks about with the product capacity balance and the 4 quadrants of activities that got to me. They are so incredibly interesting, and I started working on my life after finishing this book. Perhaps I was feeling inspired, I don't know. But I'm not talking about this to focus on what exactly I did to improve my life, or the fact I improved it at all. but rather the mindset. I considered every step a win and used the slightest disappointment of failure to succeed in something I wanted to push myself towards. It's been great for my mental and physical. Okay, now why are we spending this long talking about a book and a video about the fear of starting? Oh, right. As I sat in front of my whiteboard, realizing that I didn't have that dream to be a YouTuber, I remembered the dream it shifted to telling stories that help others. Like so many stories have helped me. I've had the wrong perspective of YouTube. I wasn't interested in making videos for the sake of making videos. I was interested in telling stories, talking about really cool technical things, ranting about my D&D campaigns, and dear God, do you know how much I love world building? And I realized YouTube wasn't supposed to be what I was making, but rather an outlet for whatever I wanted to make. There's a reason I love the visual medium so much. I can do so much with it. I love storytelling and I love technical things. I just want to create. So I changed the rules. No longer was I going to worry about the skill mix and making the perfect channel. I was going to make my channel. Because, yeah, although I didn't want to be a YouTuber anymore, I still wanted to share what I created. And I wanted to keep creating. But vitally, I had to finish my projects to get over this desperation for perfectionism. The things just had to exist. And as long as I keep trying to improve week after week, I will get better. So my new rules are this. Every week, I will make a video about whatever I want to make and try and get better with every video. I want to make videos because it is important to me to share what I create and what I care about with the world, whether or not the world cares in return. And that's why this video exists. It exists despite everything I've told myself and believed about my first video having to be perfect. It exists despite being incredibly imperfect. I mean, look at this list of things I'd like to improve with it. I genuinely don't care if this YouTube channel never takes off. I would be happy ending 2026 with a grand total of 147 subscribers. So, if you're interested in joining that 147 and sticking along for this journey of random things I decide interest me for the week, then subscribe. I'll see you next week.